Midat Amasi is struggling for breath. Like much of Gaza's population, he'd spent days at home in fear of Israeli bombing raids. The trouble was he'd been infected with COVID-19 and was getting worse day by day. Now his condition, doctors say, is very serious.
He was infected at home during the war. He had coronavirus symptoms, but he couldn't come to the hospital because he was scared of the shelling. We've had many cases like this that we've been dealing with.
In another ward in Gaza City's Shifa hospital, we find Majed Saleh, a doctor turned patient. Recently out of intensive care, it wasn't COVID-19 that put him there, it was an Israeli airstrike. The security camera in Gaza's Ministry of Health building shows the moment he was blasted out of his office. The building wasn't hit directly. This was collateral damage from a strike across the street. But it was more than enough to shut down Gaza's only COVID-19 test lab. Testing finally resumed at less than half the previous capacity on Monday. As well as keeping people at home, the airstrikes also drove tens of thousands out and into temporary refuge in school buildings. There was some rapid flow testing done in places like this. The positivity rates were as high as 50%.
No distancing, no masks, no protection, no hygiene. All of this created a bad situation. We know that corona spreads rapidly and that we have the British variant here in Gaza. 5 cases would have been enough to infect all 4,000 people in one school.
The health ministry is worried about the prospects of what it calls a disastrous third wave of coronavirus, which is why this is so necessary. 48,600 doses of the Pfizer vaccine delivered under the COVAX International Alliance, straight to Gaza's only ultra-cold freezer in the Rantisi hospital. In comparison to the vaccination campaign so far in Gaza, this represents a major delivery and a much-needed one. But in comparison to the need across Gaza, especially right now, it remains a drop in the ocean. This is far from the mass vaccination campaign seen just a short drive and a world away in Israel. So far, less than 2% of Gaza's population has been fully vaccinated. While Gaza has been focused on the immediate life and death concerns of a brutal but short war, a longer-term threat may well have been gathering pace. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Gaza.